Hi, I'm Toby Dicker from the Chapel Salons, and I'm also a founder member of the Salon Employers Association, an organisation that came from SOS, which we founded during COVID. We were there to support one another through COVID, bringing salon owners together, because actually it's the only real way to make a difference, and that's what we're aiming for. We want to make a difference. We want your passion to come forward so we can represent our industry properly, and we weren't represented properly during COVID. If you looked at all of the help that other restaurants got, all of the other industries got, and yet we got shut down just as long and didn't get that support. And we need to fight for that now, so that the core of our industry and the next generation can be an important part of what we do. So what we've put together today for you is just a breakdown of where all that income goes. And what I've done is I've got 120 £1 coins here, and the reason I've got 120 is because when you add 20% VAT to 100 for VAT paying salons like us, then that's where the thing goes. So I'll explain as we go through where each part goes. So I'm going to take you through exactly how this £120 gets spent, and then we can all share and understand that across the industry. So here it is. The first 20 quid, we've just talked about it already, goes out in VAT. So let's just move that £20 away. And that £20 goes in the big fat tax pile over here. We collect that on behalf of the government because we're really nice people, and then we just give it to them. Happy days. What do we get for that? I'm not sure, but let's demonstrate and try and show where that is. So we're left with £100, and that is what we call our net income. We've paid the VAT out, we've got our net income, and then we can break down where each and every pound goes after that. Most importantly, the first big part of the pie goes out to our teams, because our teams are the people that matter the most. And payroll and salary costs are a massive part of what we do. So actually, it's 6 times £10 coins is £60 in every 120, or 60% of the 100% net income goes out in payroll costs. And some people won't believe that, but I'll show you a breakdown again. So we're going to move £40 out to the team. The £40 ends up in the team's pocket. But guess what? The tax man also gets £20, and that's 1/3 of all our salary costs go out in tax. And some people say, oh, well, I don't pay this or I don't pay that. But actually, 1/3 goes out, because in addition to the taxes that the team members pay and contribute to government, we also pay 15% national insurance contributions. We pay 3% into pension funds. We pay maternity leave. We pay all of these other things, and we train the next generation. These salary costs include all of our trainees, they include all of our front of house, they include all of our marketing teams, they include all the people that really matter in our business. And that is why it's such a huge part of what we earn. So what is the average business owner left with? We've paid out £20 in VAT, we paid out £60 in payroll, that's £80 out of our 120 already gone. So we're left with 40 quid. 40 quid to run the business and do everything else within it. And I'll show you the average salon breakdown for that. So where does the next £10 go? Well, the next £10 goes for our rent. Our rent or our mortgage or any of those other things. We're renting on the high street, we're buying properties, we're investing in the high street, we're making sure that it's come forward. We've got to pay our rent. Where does the next bit go? Well, we need products. We need products to put on people's hair. We need to buy products in, we need to sell them on. So products are the next big section of what we do, and that accounts for around about £11 in every thing. So I'm going to take the next £11, what's called cost of goods sold. That's why it says COGS, and that is a cost that goes out to run our businesses. It's just what we need to do. So we're then left with a really small part of the pie. We're left with £19, and guess what? The next 2 is another tax, and that's the rates that we pay. So rent and rates are another part of what it is to be on the high street. We pay rates, we pay a tax for being on the high street, and rates are an important part of that. And in normal times, the average salon is paying about £2 out of that 120 in rates, and that goes in the tax pile. So I'm going to put it over here. So here we go, we've got 2 things left. 2 parts left. The next thing is what we call fixed costs. Fixed costs are things you just have to pay to run a business, and there are loads and loads of them, and I'll go through the ones I remember right now. But you've got marketing costs, you've got refuse, you've got insurance, you've got banking fees, you've got credit card fees, legal, you've got all of your utilities, so your heating, your gas, your water, all of the things that you really need to do, all the tools you have to buy, the repairs that come in. So that's your fixed costs. So let's take those fixed costs. And the average salon here is spending about £16 out of every 120 on that fixed costs. So the elephant in the room, the £1 left. The £1 left for the average salon in the UK is the big P, profit. We're left with £1 out of every 120 that's going out. We just don't think that's enough. We don't think that's enough for what you do, the massive amount of employment that's brought into this industry, the millions of people we bring into the high street every day. We think we're far too heavily taxed, and it's just time for change. So please join us, please help us. By joining the organisation, we'll come together, we'll fight for you, we'll talk to government. We are already talking to government directly already, and we want to make a difference. And guess what? Of that £1, some of it goes out in tax. It's called corporation tax, and at the moment it's at 19%. I'm just going to use a 20p for that. So 20p goes to the government again, and you're left with 80 pence. 80 pence is what's left over after all of that. And for our industry to thrive, survive, provide opportunities for people that wouldn't have other opportunities on the high street, we need that support. We need to change this tax system. We need for the government to recognise that we are one of the most heavily taxed on the high street, that we employ more people per pound income that comes in every day. So to summarise, I just wanted to show another little visual really of where we're at, and another reason why we fight and try and get understanding within our business. As I said, because of the way we add our value, we end up being the most taxed what's called B2C, business to consumer business on the high street, and this represents the tax that we contribute out of that £120. So when we add up the VAT, the rates, and the employment taxes that we pay, that comes to £42. £42, which goes into the public purse. £42 out of that 120, which is actually exactly 35% or £35 in every 100 that comes in. So more than a third of every single pound that comes in the door goes out in tax to the public purse. People don't understand that. Our industry is not understood. It's not respected. And my fear is that if we continue to disintegrate businesses that want to invest in the future, want to give people opportunities, and we compete on grabbing money and doing this and doing that and reducing our prices against one another, we're going to end up with even less respect in our industry. I want us to come together. I want us all to charge more. I want us to grow as an industry that can really invest in people, that can show people what an incredible career you can have. Because what's happening in the world right now is everyone is grabbing as much as they can for themselves. And what that leaves us with is a really unkind society and an unkind way of doing things. Unless we can show to government that we're worth investing in, that we're worth investing in to bring in young, new people, to grow people, to be a worthwhile career, not one that charges 20 quid at home and then goes and subsidises their income by going to work in a supermarket, but one that is proud to come to work, one that can support young mums, one that is already got close to 90% of the people in it as women who are powerful part of what we do. I think it's all about that, and I think until we can level that playing field, until we can get people to understand that traditional salon model, or the salon model that we've got now that wants to grow people and build people, is going to get destroyed without some change, then we're going to be left with nothing. And that's my real fear. That's why I'm really, really here. I want the people that work in our industry, I want the people that work for me to get paid what they deserve. They're incredible people. They bring people in, they understand people's problems, they talk to people, they make people feel great, they make them look great, and we just never had that respect. We've never had that voice in our industry, or for our industry, that can stand up and actually just fight, because that's what I want to do. It's what SEA wants to do. It's what we want to do here. It's what most salon owners who put it together, who built a team, are trying to do. And as we erode that, and as we take that away, we end up with nothing. And if you care about it as much as I do, if you care about it in any way, then join us. We will represent you, as I say, within government. We will have those arguments. We'll continue to push. At the moment, we've got tens of thousands of people that we represent in the industry, 1,100 salons. Let's get that up to 5,000. Let's make us impossible to ignore, and let's build a much better future for our industry before it's just not respected, before it's loads of individuals with no power and no voice. Let's make the difference, and let's do it as soon as we can.